You brought up something interesting because of the Trampoline Wrestling Federation. The mid to late 90s and even the early 2000s, the indie scene was obviously completely different to what it became. And then, like, backyard wrestling became a big thing. Like you would see in stores, literally, like you brought up the Trampoline Wrestling Federation, but there was like Best of Backyard Wrestling Volume 1, 2, 3. Like you had all these things going on because there might not have been as many ins for wrestling, and a lot of people were just doing backyard wrestling because they loved it. What were your thoughts at the time? Because again, you were a fan of that stuff, but then you went into real training with Matt and Jeff. Did you find like the backyard, or did you see that as like, oh, this isn't good for wrestling? Or were you like, hey, they love wrestling just like I love wrestling. They just need to go the right route to get into it? Like, what were your thought processes?
I didn't know anything about backyard. It was to me it wasn't backyard wrestling, even though it was, but I didn't view it as backyard wrestling. I was like, man, these guys are wrestling like I wrestled in the yard, like you know what I'm saying. I didn't have
Yeah.
like a federation, but I wrestled with my friends in the yard. I was just thinking, man, these guys they're wrestling in the yard, but they're recording and they're actually really good, but they're on a trampoline. You know what I'm saying? And it was a few tapes they had in the video store, so I didn't have an opinion on when I started wrestling and I would see the backyard wrestlers or whatever that were like in the backyard. Um, I didn't have an opinion on how it affected the sport. I had an opinion on how it affected them because I would see a lot of people, the videos, you mostly see videos of somebody getting hurt, falling off a building or falling, through
Yeah.
something and getting cut up or whatever like that. And that was my thing. It was just kind of like, man, these guys are killing themselves and they don't know what they're doing. And then um what's his name? There's a guy in Japan. They had like the exploding rings and all that type of
Oh,
stuff.
Anita.
Anita. So I was, I would be in the grocery stores and I would see like the magazines of him and like the stuff they were doing and whatever. And I was just like, I guess somebody's doing it, but like it was mind blowing to me, the amount of pain these people were willing to go through. But to me, it was their like, that was their addiction type thing,
Mhm.
like kind of like how much pain can I put myself through type thing. So if anything, there was a time where I had to ask myself, like, am I like that? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Somebody that has like a thing for pain or, a thing for attention or, and I think we all have some type of vanity to us to be in this sport. But I also think there's kind of a line where you're harming your body intentionally, and just getting, praise for it, whatever. But then it's kind of like that's just who you are. Some people they make money at it, or whatever. So it just kind of to me introduced uh that type of wrestling to people that weren't trained to start with and causing them to get hurt because they didn't know the concept of pro wrestling to start with, and they're just going out, hurting themselves, putting themselves through things, and they don't have the concept now. And so that was my main concern of people really getting hurt imitating something that don't try this at home type thing.